Hello and welcome to Happy Hips. As always, when we're dealing with the hips, I really want you to take it slow. Don't force anything. I want it to feel like there is definitely stretches going on, that you are challenging the hip joint. But whenever you feel like you are forcing your body to do something, I really want you to push pause on that. That's not the goal here. It's very, very important to listen to this area when it's telling you that's too much. We won't be going to those extremes, but I will be offering different options. So I just don't want you to force yourself to go somewhere that your body is simply not ready to go. I do want you to have, they don't want to show up, 2 blocks nearby. That's really going to help. If you don't have them, that's okay. You can make do without them. But even for the advanced students here, those blocks will be very, very useful in this class. So we're going to get started in a child's pose, but I actually want to change it up a little bit. Rather than having your knees out as wide as they can go, big toes to touch, bring your knees in line with your hips, so directly beneath, and then just push back. So you've got sort of a straight child's pose happening here. And I want this to be comfortable. I really don't want you to force anything. If there's a little pull here and there, that's okay. But otherwise, we're just going to take a few deep breaths here first. So deep breath in through the nose. And a big exhale, side out. Allow your head to really relax into the floor. Your body is melting into the ground. And gravity is really doing all the work in this moment. No muscles are tense. Relax your jaw. Relax your face. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your shoulders. Take another deep breath in. And with that exhalation, relax even further into the ground. Almost like gravity is pushing you into the floor. Deep breath in. Big long exhale. Beautiful job. As you inhale, I want you to come all the way up to all fours. Find a neutral tabletop position. Nice long spine. Think about really lengthening from the top of your head down to your tailbone. Push the shoulder blades away from your ears, so don't allow them to hunch into the ears. Deep breath in. Big exhale, lengthen even more. And I want you to imagine your rib cage sort of coming towards your spine here. So you're activating that core. Deep breath in. Exhale, activate. Rib cage comes towards the back of the room. Now as you inhale, I want you to slightly arch your spine as you send your bum back towards your heels. As you exhale, you can round and come forward, pushing the shoulder blades away from one another and tucking in the chin, just coming back to bring your shoulders on top of your wrists. Inhale, arch and send your hips back. Exhale, round, come forward. Just a few spinal waves here. Continue in that motion. Let it feel good, but I also want you to be controlled. So I really don't want you to start flopping and flailing all over the place. I see that very often in yoga class. And while that can be really fun and definitely great to utilize, today I want to focus on control. And the reason for that is that our hips and our pelvic girdle really do need that control to feel safe so that they can unlock more movement and also just decrease tension in that area, which can really lead to that pain, tightness in the low back and the hips. So really just focusing on the control, not thinking about letting loose today, or at least in this practice. 2 more rounds here. And then coming back to that neutral tabletop position. Deep breath in. Exhale, lengthen. And imagine your rib cage coming towards your spine. I want you to have a neutral pelvis here. And we're just going to practice avoiding shifting the weight. So typically in a yoga class, someone would say, shift your weight over to your left side. and then we'll lift the leg. But today, I really want to create a solid foundation that doesn't move even when you lift something up. So let's practice that. Deep breath in. As you exhale, activate the core. Okay. Nice straight pelvis, not tucked or arched. It's just in line with your body. And you can even look down to see if everything is in line. Now, deep breath in again. And as you exhale, I want you to lift your right hand up, avoiding any other part of the body moving. So no shifting or anything like that. And lift your right hand up. Nothing is moving. Inhale, place your hand back down. Exhale, lift the left. Nothing is moving. Inhale, back down. Exhale, lift. And then place that hand back down. Let's try that again on the left side. And then back down. Beautiful job. Now, it's a lot harder when it comes to doing this with our leg, but we're going to try that. So inhale, lift your right leg out to the side. Now, you won't be able to lift it very high because of that control, and you may shift your weight ever so slightly into the right hand a little bit more. That's okay, but we're minimizing this. So lift it as high as you can go without really sacrificing all of that control. So if you're lifting it up here and you're having to really move and shift, rather keep it down, lift it up ever so slightly. Now from here, you're going to point your toe and then send your leg back in line with your body. Bring your knee back in. Bring it out, back and in, keeping a really straight spine here. No lateral flexion, no arching. The pelvis is staying in the same place. We're creating those circles. And you're going to notice that your core is really going to activate here. A little bit of movement is pretty inevitable of the body, but trying to keep everything as still as possible. And you should actually start to feel a little bit of a burn in the core. And that's when you really know you're activating. Deep breath in here. Exhale. Now inhale again. Exhale, send your right leg out to the side as high as it can go without compromising your form. From here, send your right foot all the way out, hold, and then drop that foot down. So we've got a flat foot there on the ground, just in case you can't see in the camera. And we're just resting the core a little bit. Deep breath in, and then exhale, lengthen. Inhale here, arch the spine, send your belly button down towards the mat. We're coming into cow pose with our leg out. And then as you exhale, tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin around the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale to arch. And exhale, round. 2 more rounds here. Last one. And then come back to neutral spine. Now, we're going to play with that control, but also moving the upper body a little bit more. So, deep breath in. As you exhale, try not to move anything else when you lift your right hand. All right, beautiful job. Place it back down. Find that control. Deep breath in. As you exhale, lift that right hand. Now, from here, you're going to lift the elbow up towards the sky and then reach your arm all the way up. So we're trying to keep everything still in the lower body. So tricky. Don't worry if you do move it a little bit. It's all about practice, and you gain that mind-body connection the more you practice this. So opening up, we're only twisting the upper body. We're keeping everything else still. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to thread the needle, but we're not going to come all the way down. It would be impossible not to move everything else. So I really want you to just focus on twisting as much as you can without moving anything else. So this may be really small. Open back up. And you might not even reach your arm all the way up. You can totally keep that arm just over here, pointing the elbow up towards the sky, keeping your hand on your ear, coming back in, threading the needle, and then lifting back up. So whatever you need to do to maintain that form, you do you. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale to open, exhale to close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Open up, and exhale, close. Last one. Exhale, close. Beautiful job. Place that right hand back down. finding that form again, and then getting your body back in line. As I notice that my hips are a little bit over to the right, it's okay, we did our best here. Now, try to lift your right foot back up. Try not to shift too much. Bend your right knee, and then bring that leg back in. Don't drop it just yet. Hug your right knee into your chest, and step your leg through. We're coming into low lunge. Inhale to reach. Exhale to sink. Inhale here. You could have your hands wherever you'd like. Exhale, sink. We're really focusing on the hips here. So you don't need to focus on lifting your arms too much. Of course, that does work them. So if you want to add a little bit more, totally feel free to do whatever you want there. But really just focusing on the hips here. It's a little bit easier when you do have your hands on your hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, sink. Here's where the blocks come in. So wherever they are, grab them. And then we're going to place the blocks on either side, just inside of the lines of the mat. So not on the outside, just on the inside. Now, I want you to really find a comfortable position here so you can rest on them, leaning forward in this low lunge. Then that should be a good place for you. Inhale, come up, place your hands on your hips. And then as you exhale, lean forward, place your hands on the blocks. Now from here, I want you to push back and straighten your right leg, and you can shuffle as needed to make this a little bit more comfortable. We're coming into half split, all right? So inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale to fold. Slowly rise all the way back up. Now, you can keep your blocks here, but I want to see if we can go into that low lunge, come back into the half split. Without using the blocks or using our hands, we're going to create that control within the body and strengthen the surrounding muscles in the hips as well. So inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. If you need those blocks, use them. Inhale, come back up. Come into that low lunge. Lift back up, inhale. Exhale to fold. Lift all the way back up, low lunge. 2 more here. Keeping that breath nice and steady. You should feel those muscles surrounding your hips really working. Your quads are screaming. Building that connection and strength in the hips. All right, come back to your blocks and we can come back into that low lunge. Take a breath here and let that stretch just happen. Really relaxing, allowing the blocks to just help us. If you haven't got the blocks, you can utilize the floor. Deep breath in. And then exhale, sink. Beautiful job. Now, from here, lift your bum up slightly, lift your right foot, and then send it over to the middle of the mat. So it's facing the middle of the room now. And then you're gonna come up, leaving your right leg exactly where it is, and then bring your hips to face the back of the room. So your left foot and your hips are facing opposites of one another. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna bend into the right leg and then lift back up. Really amazing for the inner thigh. Bend and lift up. Moving with your breath. Should feel really, really nice. Again, if you're having balancing issues here, feel free to utilize the blocks. Last 2. Last 1. All right. Swivel that back leg back out towards the back of the mat. We're in low lunge again. And then you're just going to push back into that tabletop position, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Deep breath in. Remember that control. So find your core connection here, sending your ribs towards the back of your spine. We've got a nice neutral pelvis here. We're not arching, we're not rounding. We are just keeping it nice and neutral. Feel free to use your eyes here. Our eyes can really, really help gain control and mind-body connection. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna lift that left leg out to the side without moving the body as much as possible. There are gonna be shifts, but you really wanna keep it as still as possible. Now from here, when you found that connection, send that left leg back, in and out. So it's not about how high you can get it here. It's really about keeping everything else still, activating the core. You wanna be feeling your core activating here. So a little bit of a burn should happen. And these are really the challenging moves. When you really have to focus on isolating a movement, that is really where it becomes super, super tricky. 3 more here. Last one. Send that left knee out. We're keeping everything still. You're going to send that left foot all the way out to bring it flat on the ground, as you can see there. Want to make sure you can see. And then coming back into that neutral position, we're lengthening the spine. Nice long line from the top of your head to your pelvis. Deep breath in. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, arch the spine, sending your belly button down towards the mat as you send your gaze out in front of you. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin, round the spine, pushing the shoulder blades away. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Beautiful job. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Last one, inhale, arch. And exhale to round. Coming back to neutral spine, we're finding that connection. We're going to do those thread the needle sort of reps with keeping everything else still. So just making sure that you've got that connection back. You're not letting anything flail about. We are nice and activated in the core. Deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your left hand up, and then you can bring your left hand to your ear if you'd like, and then lift your elbow from there, and then bring that elbow down to thread the needle and come back up. Or you can lift the arm all the way up, thread the needle, whatever you want to do here. If you really want to get deep, you can really try to practice to come all the way down. That would be really tricky without moving anything else. But let's continue here. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful job. Come back to neutral. From here, we're going to lift that left foot back up with control, and then hug the left knee into the chest as you step it through the lunge. Inhale, reaching all the way up, and then you can place your hands on your hips, wherever is best for you. Deep breath in. As you exhale, sink. Should feel nice. Deep breath in. Exhale, sink. Deep breath in. And exhale, sink. All right, blocks coming in. Place them in that same position, nice and comfortable. Don't feel like you place them somewhere and then you can't move them from then on. We all need a shuffle because it's really hard to tell where you really need them until you start doing the movement. Deep breath in, lift and lengthen. And then as you exhale, push back, half split. Folding over the leg. Focus on sending the pelvis back rather than rounding and bringing your head towards your knee. So even if you're all the way up and you're just sending your bum back and you're arching a little bit, that's going to give you better results than folding to bring the head to the knee. So deep breath in, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, send that tailbone back. And fold if you can. Deep breath in. Exhale to fold. Last one. And exhale, fold. All right, option to utilize the blocks or not. We're going to come into the low lunge and then push back, half split. Really activating a lot of muscles that don't get utilized a lot here, creating balance in the body. Utilizing the breath here is really important. Also, focusing on a point is going to help you balance as well. So notice, I wouldn't test it now, but if you do close your eyes, your balance sort of just totally goes out of whack. Deep breath in. Last one. I almost fell there. Coming back into that low lunge. We're going to swivel that back leg all the way back to come into that side lunge here. Feel free to shuffle as needed. And if your knees hurt, feel free to grab a pillow or something soft, a blanket, a towel, whatever can soften the surface. Because I know my knees can scream at me a little bit here. Deep breath in. Exhale. Bend towards that left leg. Utilizing the breath. Everything is still here. besides that left leg bending. Let it feel good. Last one. Coming back, beautiful job. Swivel that back leg again. We're in low lunge, and then you'll just step back into tabletop again. Pop the blocks off to the side here. Deep breath in. Exhale nice and long. Your spine is lengthened. We're going to come into froggy pose. So again, if your knees are screaming at you, feel free to grab something soft. There is a lot of knee action in this practice today. So you're going to bring your knees out nice and wide. Keep your knees in line with your hips here. So you don't want them all the way back or too forward either. Nice and in line, really opening up. Your feet are flexing away from you as if your toes are facing away from you, if that makes sense. Deep breath in, lift and lengthen the spine as we have been. As you exhale, I want you to push back slightly towards your heels. Inhale, lift up slightly. Exhale, push back slightly. These are tiny, minute movements. They're not big. So don't feel like it needs to be big to feel anything or to make a difference. Notice with each exhalation how you might actually be floating closer and closer towards the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale. Sink. Deep breath in. Exhale, sink. And if bouncing isn't feeling good for you, feel free to avoid it. You don't even need to bounce. Deep breath in. Exhale. Floating down. One more time. And exhale. Shift your weight forward. Bring your feet in. And then just come back into tabletop position. All right, so from here, walk your hands out. We're coming into puppy, drawing the chest down towards the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale. Float your chest down. So you're really sticking your booty out here. If this is too intense for you, feel free to just come onto the elbows. But I do want you to feel a nice stretch in the shoulders here. Deep breath in. And exhale, sink. Inhale. We're really getting into the psoas here as well, releasing that tension. Which can cause a lot of hip tightness and low back pain. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, come all the way forward, Sphinx pose. So you're on your elbows are beneath your shoulders here. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to come all the way down to our bellies. So just create a pillow with your hands here. Now, the next few movements may feel like nothing again. It may feel like it is impossible for you to do what I'm asking you to do. But the sheer effort is going to activate those muscles. It's going to create that connection that we're looking for with our hip mobility, hip strength, hip flexibility, all of that. It is probably the most concerning place for our nervous system. It is the place that holds us up. So our nervous system really, really cracks down on our hip mobility and really tightens the muscles surrounding those joints. So this is a great way to really activate and strengthen them. So resting your forehead on the mat here, I want you to think of creating a nice long line from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. You're pushing the shoulder blades away from your ears. You're going to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring your right heel towards your booty. Inhale again. As you exhale, I want you to lift your right knee up towards the sky. Bring it back down. Exhale, lift. And back down. Lift, even if it's not lifting, and down, continue 3. Even if it's not lifting at all, just you activating that muscle is going to make a difference. Last one. Now, lift it again. Straighten your right foot out and then bring it down. Bend that knee, lift it up, straighten, down. Bend, lift, straighten, down, 2, 1. Beautiful job. I know that's hard. Let's do the other side. Deep breath in. Lift that left heel. Exhale, lift the knee. Lower down, inhale. Exhale, lift. down, lift, down, lift. Last two. Lower it back down. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Straighten that leg and then float it back down. Bend the knee, lift, point it out. 2, 3, 4. Last one. And 5. Beautiful job. Bring your feet out as wide as your mat, and then bring your hands out pretty wide on either side of the mat. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, push up to come into seal pose. And then float back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, float. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, float back down. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Push up into plank. Beautiful job. Now we're going to come into downward facing dog. Push your hips up and back. Pedal out the feet. Do whatever you need to do to feel good in this position. Keeping those breaths nice and steady here. Drawing your chest towards your knees. Waking up the hamstrings a little bit, the calves, the ankles. Deep breath in. Exhale, become still. All right. Inhale, right leg rises all the way up, and I want you to open up that hip, bend your right knee. From here, we're going to focus a little bit less on control, but I don't want everything flailing around. So don't feel like you cannot move anything at all, but I want you to bring your right knee in, open it up, and then close it back down. If we were keeping everything still, it would be really, really hard to really open up here. So in this position, feel free to open up. Maybe your spine arches ever so slightly when you're creating those circles. It's okay. Don't go too crazy with it. Try to keep everything as controlled as you can. But that's not going to be the main focus in this moment. Last two. Last one. You can feel that your body really works here. Hug your right knee into your chest. Flex your right foot. Step it through. We're coming into high lunge. If you fall, it's normal. It still happens. All right. So we're in high lunge. Deep bend in both of the knees. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Now as you exhale, hands to your hips. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, sink lower. All right. Now from here, we're going to come to bring our legs kind of straight, little micro bend. And then from here, I want you to inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, we're going to fold over our right foot. And then you're going to fold over your legs. So we're coming into pyramid. Now, you can keep a nice deep bend in the knee here. Doesn't need to be straight. But I do want you to really feel that really strong stretch in the hamstring there. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Reminder, you do have your blocks. If you want to feel free to utilize the blocks here. Deep breath in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Last breath. And fold. From here, you're going to bend into your right knee, coming into a lunge. And then you're going to push back into pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Now, if you don't have your blocks, it's okay. You can use the floor here. Last two. Last one. Beautiful job. Come back into the high lunge position and then lift all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Fold over, come back into plank position. Push your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises up. Open up the hip and then bring your left heel to your booty and start to create circles with your knee. Maintaining as much control as you can. Last two. Last one. Hug your left knee into your chest, step it through. Coming into high lunge. Exhale, hands to your hips, sink low. Deep breath in. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift all the way up. We're keeping that right heel up. As you exhale, begin to fold, coming into pyramid. Utilize your blocks here, or not, up to you. Deep breath in. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Last one. Exhale, fold. Now, you're going to come into a lunge position, and then you're going to push back. Pyramid. Lunge. And pyramid. Feel free to shuffle as needed. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. Coming back into that lunge position. Lift all the way up. Bring your hands down. Come to high plank. Drop the knees. Push back. Close your eyes. Notice how you feel. Acknowledge all of the hard work that you have done in this practice. Acknowledge how amazing it is that you showed up for you today. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale, relax. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm so excited to see you in the next class.